Hello, welcome. My name is Robert Denton. This is the third video about my high stress and burnout um, and how I learned to avoid them both and in their place achieve high performance without stress. Unfortunately, I didn't know about these things before my burnout, and so I'm speaking and writing from the point of view of experience. This is my book, High Performance After Burnout, Fix the Stress Before the Damage is Done, and I mean that very seriously. Burnout is no joke, it's serious, and it must be taken seriously by anybody sensing just the beginning of sort of elevated stress. This series of videos is to add explanation to this book. It's available from Amazon.com, but those living in Switzerland may not be able to obtain the book because of the Swiss government restrictions, in which case the book may be obtained from the publisher in Geneva, either to collect in person or to have it sent by post to a Swiss address. I have placed the publisher address beside me here, firsthousepress@gmail.com. This has been set up especially for you to order a copy of High Performance After Burnout. You'll also see the addresses of the two videos I've already posted on YouTube. This video is about the principle of discovering the power of the subconscious mind and how to use it to great effect to combat stress, plus much more, which I'll talk about. In my first video, I mentioned that using the subconscious mind to avoid stress and achieve high performance is taken and developed from the same methods used for mind coaching high-performing athletes and top sports stars, from footballers to tennis players to golfers, rugby players, fighter jet pilots, racing car drivers, and many more professions. After the burnout crisis, I wanted to know what burnout was. I first studied various neuroscience disciplines. Also, I included the practical disciplines of life coaching and an NLP. I also studied what it is called sports mind coaching, which is essentially subconscious mind coaching. I prefer to call a spade and not deceive anybody, and that's why you will hear me talking more about subconscious mind coaching rather than something that really is really the same thing. So let's be honest about it. It occurred to me that if subconscious high performance programs work so well for sports professionals, why not also for controlling stress, also preventing or escaping out of the clutches of burnout? I began to integrate and develop these methods for my own purposes. Initially, this was to test them, but when the results were beyond my expectations, I then rolled out as many programs as I could to find if there were any limitations. The key was in understanding the conscious and subconscious minds and how they work in conjunction with each other and the body. For example, why despite the best professional coaching and hours of integration and practice with the conscious mind, why a golfer can repeatedly fail to achieve the results wanted. Yet in one session with the same golfer of subconscious mind coaching, their body and mind performs impeccably well in unison and for the perfect results. After perfecting strategy programs for sports, I moved on to managing high professional work skills and just about anything I could think of where high performance is important, and especially with the added advantage of being stress-free. The moment I find any of my current habitual performance systems show up a glitch, I mean, that's simple things I do that I might make a mistake, and sometimes the little mistakes can be costly. I immediately make a point of replacing that sort of conscious habitual behavior with something which is a powerful automatic subconscious program, and thereby prevent that error from happening again. Such programs are quite normal, or I should say such subconscious mind programs are quite normal. At any time in the past where you performed intuitively, you realized afterwards it was perfect and so easy. That means there was no stress. That also means it was your subconscious mind doing all the work. Did you bother to analyze what happened and why? Next time, think to stop. Track back to find at what stage did things suddenly run so smoothly and so easily. See if you can identify what happened to trigger your subconscious performance and why your conscious mind let go and did not interfere. To put it in a nutshell, realizing this opportunity and possibility and teaching or improving my knowledge of how to create high performance subconscious mind programs on demand and how to install them in a matter of minutes is how I move myself out of a totally stuck state of burnout and controlled by a want to but cannot wall of resistance. I'll explain this as I go along. Until I discovered how to manage this resistance, I found it impossible to make any headway in the planning and creating my future. The want to but cannot syndrome is well known in psychology. It is a DNA survival and self-protection process of the mind, triggered when we hit a major life trauma, and particularly prevalent in people suffering from burnout. In the case of burnout, it prevents us from doing again anything that remotely resembles whatever we did to get ourselves into burnout in the first place, and that usually means our profession. Imagine you're back a million years ago, hunting alone, where you know it is dangerous, but you're courageous and you're not really bothered. You've got good strong muscles and you're okay. Suddenly you're running from a saber-toothed tiger. You realize you cannot run fast enough, so you turn to fight. You hold up your flint-tipped wooden spear in defense and ready to charge the tiger. A powerful paw knocks the spear out of your hands, and the tiger pounces, driving you down to the ground. You see and feel one of those enormous teeth begin to penetrate your leg. There is a great commotion as your tribe arrive and drive away the tiger. Seconds later, you look down and, traumatized, you see the hole in your leg and it's hurting like the fire of hell and blood is everywhere. Your tribe members carry you back to safety. You eventually heal, but with damaged muscles, you know you cannot go hunting for a long time. However, there is something else you are aware of. When you are fit and can run again, something in your mind is preventing you from running. As hard as you try, you find whatever that is in your mind, it is preventing you from hunting even easy food to catch. This want to but cannot syndrome is as persistent as ever it was and demonstrates pain memory is as powerful today as ever before in preventing us doing again what so nearly killed us. I don't mean to be brutal, but burnout can turn into what's known as instant death syndrome. But I won't go there because it's not necessary. It is well known that if one has a bad fall off a horse, the best thing to do is to get up right away get back up onto the horse before the pain memory to give up prevents you from ever riding again. You quickly learn not to do whatever you did to cause you to fall off the horse. Pain of any type, whether the pain of failure or a physical pain, is simply a message to stop doing what does not work. Well, it's a message from the subconscious mind. If one breaks a leg, the pain is to stop us from trying to use that leg again until it is repaired. Stress, whatever level, is another form of pain. I'm talking about stress pain and no other mental issues. Stress is pain of the mind, indicating something is wrong, just as physical pain of a broken leg tells its own story. This is what high-performance professional subconscious mind coaching is all about. Try again, and try again cannot work. It'll never work if you are repeating the same hidden mistake in the conscious mind that you believe is actually good, but it always elicits failure because it's wrong. It's wrong even despite following the best advice. It's wrong for you because you are unique. And that's one of the added advantages of subconscious mind coaching, because it deals with whatever is unique about you. The problem is that conscious mind interference is where the fault behavior is hidden. This is why subconscious mind coaching and training is so powerful. As always, the devil is in the detail. It is the method and expertise of subconscious mind training that ensures there are no hidden faults. This is identical to the difference between handmade carpets and those made on a loom, which are handmade are always unique with their inbuilt faults, although those faults may not matter or can be covered up. If you are making widgets that have to be of the highest performance, handmade widgets are always going to have imperfections or differences, and those differences are where failure and pain comes from. A programmed lathe can turn out thousands of exact copies of a perfect widget to the highest specification. And this is the principle that top sports stars use to produce the perfect performance time and time again. Because it comes from the subconscious mind, it is pain and stress free. Since as far back as I can remember, I suffered from April to October every year with chronic hay fever. This included an allergy to any of at least 80 known pollens plus dust, cigarette ash, smoke and many other substances. In short, spring and summer for me were a major challenge and sometimes a living hell. Several years ago, I had a health checkup. This time it included some new types of blood tests. Afterwards, the doctor said I should stop eating bread, pasta, cereals, muesli, or anything containing any quantity of grain products. He said they are as good as poisoning me by elevating my innate body inflammation, and that makes me susceptible to hay fever, headaches, migraine, raised inner body inflammation, colds, flu, etc. Today, many doctors are full of it, and its importance to good health. I was amazed to hear that bread, wheat, and other grains, which I was told all my life were good for me, were actually bad for me. Because I'm different. I'm uniquely different, just as everybody else is uniquely different. And now I hear doctors telling, in general, don't eat breads because of what they contain and the harm they can actually do to our health. Within 3 days of being as grain-free as I could manage, I found the hay fever attacks had stopped, and that meant I was no longer dependent on antihistamine tablets. That doctor was right. Grain-free, that is cutting out the hidden error, hay fever, headaches and migraines had stopped. As I continued on this eating regime, colds and flu seemed to be a thing of the past as well. Using the high-performing subconscious mind is like conscious mind performance without the bread and pasta. Whatever we do when taking out or excluding the inbuilt performance limiter, a limiter is something we actually believe is good, but is quite the opposite. Life then becomes so easy and stress-free. I don't mean to be blasé about that, but having been through running my own companies and being through the enormous stress it is, and then being through the burnout, I truly believe that. It's once I got beyond the stress and the hold of stress on my life by discovering how to use subconscious mind for high performance, then life becomes immensely easier. The science of subconscious high performance came into being when we raised awareness of ourselves and our performance in making the highest possible shift, how to perform without any errors. The solution to high performance without stress works by respecting the fact our conscious minds are overloaded. This is usually with so much wrong or outdated information we have been taught by obsolete thinking. In short, like me eating bread in the summer, we may think we understand what we're doing, but so often that belief is our biggest mistake. Therefore, tell me, what do you believe is good, but is actually hurting you or preventing you from your highest performance? Like a golfer using the wrong mind strategy, thus constantly failing, what mind strategies are you using that are preventing you from high performance without stress? As in the case of a lathe to produce perfect widgets, provided its program is free of errors, it is like subconscious learning, producing perfect performance time and time again, free of stress. A purpose-tailored, automatic, high-performance subconscious mind program can be created and activated in a matter of a few minutes. Those demanding the best of themselves are usually knowledgeable in their profession. Therefore, the process is to enjoy and ensure their knowledge is used in the highest level possible. This is including the subconscious mind program to block the conscious mind from interfering during the period demanding subconscious high performance. This blocking process is because the mind does think it knows best, or the conscious mind thinks it knows best, and it can interfere intuitively and says, don't do that, don't believe that, no, do this, you've always done this. Yes, and you've always made mistakes. The details of these methods are explained in my book, High Performance After Burnout. As I said, the book is available at Amazon.com. This is the end of this video. If you wish to receive the next one automatically, then perhaps you might like to register. And for the moment, this is Robert Denton signing off.